Hello, and welcome to a new video in ToborTech's Java Basics series. In this video, you will be learning about the string data type in programming, as well as some features that are associated to strings in Java. So without further ado, let's get started. If you remember from the last video, we talked about how strings are used to store text, which are sequences of characters. And in Java, we enclose strings with double quotation marks. The first new thing that we're going to talk about today is string concatenation, which is how we combine multiple strings. And in Java, we can do this simply using the plus sign. So if I have a string and I want to combine it with another string, I can simply write this plus that. And in this case, this will give me the result of string concatenation, like this. I'm going to test this out by pasting this into Replic's Java Online Editor, which you can find the link to down below. I'm going to paste this inside the main method. Running this code, we can see the result of string concatenation as the output. Now, there are some special characters that we can insert into strings in Java called escape characters. Let's take a look at the starter program that Replit has for us when we arrive here. If I want to insert a double quote right here, how can I do that? Well, if I just add a double quote exactly how it's written right now, then this is no longer part of the string because the string ended right here. And running this program, we'll actually see a few errors thrown. So how can we handle this problem? Well, we can use the escape character \double quote, which will insert a double quote. So if I just simply add a backslash here, we can see, first of all, the color highlighting is back. And running this program, this no longer gives us any errors and prints out hello, double quote, comma, world. We also have the \single quote escape character, which inserts a single quote. And then we have the \n character, which inserts a new line character. So if you want to separate different parts of a string onto their own separate lines, you can put a \n between them. The \t character inserts a horizontal tab. And because the character / is used to escape other characters, to insert a literal \, we will have to write two of them, like this. And here we have 4 lines of Java code that uses escape characters. So let's copy this and paste this into the main method. Running this, we can see, first of all, we're going to get hello, hello again, hello yet again on 3 separate lines because we have new line characters, \n between them. And then we have a quote, do the simplest thing that could possibly work. And notice the \double quote escape character here, which is how we inserted the double quotation marks before and after the quote. Hello \t world is going to give us hello and a horizontal tab and then world. This folder location has a few \ characters, and we can see 2 of them will give us 1 in the output. We can find the length of a string in Java using the length method. For now, don't worry about what a method is since we'll be talking more on that later on in this course. Just know that if I have a string and I put a dot afterwards before the word length, after which I put a pair of parentheses, then this will be the length of this string, which is the number of characters that it has. So in this case, we have the length of 12. So if I copy this and paste this right here, we can see that we do indeed get the number 12 as the output because we have 12 characters in this string. We can convert a string from uppercase to lowercase or the other way around using the toUppercase and toLowercase methods. Notice how the to is lowercase, the U here and the C here, as well as the L here and the C here, are in uppercase. That's how we can tell this is a word and this is a word. That's how we can tell which ones are words and which ones are just not words, I guess, in method names. It's not important to know why, I guess, for now. Just know that we have to spell exactly how it's written right here for it to work. So if I have a lowercase string and call the dot to uppercase method with the parentheses here, it will give us I am lowercase, which is in uppercase. And we get I am uppercase dot to lowercase. We will get I am uppercase in lowercase. So if I copy this and paste this again into the main method, we should get exactly what we thought we would get. So I am lowercase and I am uppercase in the correct casing. We can compare two strings and see if they are equal to each other using the equals method. So if I have a string and I want to compare it to another string and see if they're equal, I can write this string dot equals and then a pair of parentheses inside of which we pass the other string. So because hello is exactly the same as this hello, we will get true, which is a Boolean value. And this is not the same as hello, since this is in uppercase and this is in lowercase, so we get false. And we can see that this is indeed our output when we run this program. We can see true and false, exactly how we predicted. The last thing we're going to cover today is getting substrings from a string, which is a really common task in programming. And it's basically getting parts of a string, so shorter strings from a longer string. And in Java, we can use the substring method. Before we talk about that, we need to understand indexing in Java strings. When we want to locate a character in a string, we can use its position in that string. And this is known as the character's index in programming. Now, in many programming languages, including Java, the index of the first character in a string is actually not 1, but 0. And the second character has an index of 1, and so on. So we have a string here. If I want to get the letter A, we would use the index 0. The space has an index of 1, and index 7 corresponds to the letter G here. Now let's talk about the substring method, which we can use in two ways. We can pass in two values, start and end. Notice the comma separation here. And this will give us everything between start and end, including start and excluding end. So if we have a string and I write dot substring and pass in 12, 14, it will look for the character whose index is 12, which in this case, if you count, it will be the letter I. And then it will find the character whose index is 14, which is the space here. And then what it will do is it will select the text from I, and then S, and it will actually stop before reaching the space. So it will just be those two characters. A trick that you can use is you can subtract this number from this number. So 14 minus 12. That will give us 2, which is the number of characters that we'll get. The other way how we can use the substring method is passing in only the starting index, and this will give us everything after start, including the character at start. So if we only pass in 5 to this substring method, it will count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And m, including m, and everything after will be returned when we print or when we run this program. So it will give us the word morning. Let's see if this is true by pasting this into our editor. And we can see indeed we get morning and is. Now let's practice working with strings. If you're given the string good evening Java, and using the string operations that you learned today, in particular the substring and the to uppercase method, print out the result of evening Java. Now, the goal here is not to define new strings and concatenate it to the existing string. We want you to basically transform this string into this string. Now a trick here is to use the system.out.print method rather than print line, because print will not insert a new line character after it prints out the text. So we can use multiple print messages or print methods to print out one single line of output. Assuming you've tried that out, here is a sample solution to this problem. So we can see we have 3 lines. Good evening Java dot substring 56. This is going to give us the character at index 5. So that's E here. And then we're changing this to uppercase using this method, which will change this to an uppercase E, like how it's written right here. And then this line, 612, will give us the rest of the word evening, those 6 characters. And after that, .substring 13 will give us this space as well as everything after towards the end of this string. So let's take a look at what this outputs if I run this program. And we can see indeed evening Java is printed out exactly how it's spelled right here, with the uppercase E, without the comma here, and with the exclamation mark. So to summarize today's lesson, much of the data that we interact with in our daily lives are strings, if you think about text messages, emails, names, and so on. In fact, if you scroll down below this video, you'll find a button that says subscribe. And that word is a string data. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that button. And now that you've learned this lesson, you're able to work with strings very easily using Java programs. That's it for this Java Basics video. If you learned something today, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to the ToborTech channel down below. And with that said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in another video.